I'm trying to figure out if it's possible to teach yourself how to become a sushi master. I'm a chef and I went to culinary school, but we really didn't spend more than one day on sushi and it was pretty basic. So until I can afford to move to Japan and go to sushi school, I am trying to teach myself. And yes, I know that this takes years to master, but I would love to be able to make sushi for myself and for my clients. So today we're doing a tuna maki, and maki is just the Japanese term for a sushi roll. I got the freshest yellowfin tuna steak that I could find, though in hindsight it would have been worth searching for a saku block. Before slicing the tuna, I like to give it a salt cure for at least 30 minutes. It helps to keep the tuna firm, which makes it easier to slice, and I also put it in the freezer for about 5 minutes before slicing. I sliced a few long strips for the regular maki rolls, and then once I got tired of slicing, I made sort of a spicy tuna mixture, which is really easy. You just chop up the tuna really finely and mix it with some sriracha and some Kewpie mayonnaise. Something I did this time that I didn't do in my last video is that I made sure the rice was fresh, and I do think that made a difference. However, I still need to work on my seasoning ratio because it's just not quite there yet. So when I was building the roll on the sushi mat, I felt like I was doing a really good job of making the rice really thin, because in my opinion, the sign of a good maki roll is a really good rice to fish ratio where there is more fish than there is rice. However, I did not do as good of a job with that as I thought I did, and there ended up being more rice in each roll than I anticipated. I think one of the most difficult parts of this was actually slicing the sushi. I used my longer knife, which is pretty sharp, and I made sure it was wet in between each slice also. This knife is a few years old though, so maybe it needs a better sharpening, or maybe I just need a different knife. The spicy tuna roll was particularly difficult to slice because it was a lot softer. To be completely honest, this kind of humbled me. I thought that I would be a lot better at this. They didn't turn out terrible, but they're definitely still a work in progress. But I still happily ate these and they tasted delicious. So follow along to see if I get any better.